The top stories. Order from fogging forces closure of school. Why doesn't Barbados have a sexual harassment law? We have an answer. And the Indi 500 champion is confirmed for Bushy Park. Welcome to Nation News for Tuesday, September the 30th, 2014.
No matter where you are in the world, at home or abroad, Nation News keeps you connected with what's happening in Barbados through our website, video newscast, and online e-papers. So stay connected with Nation News. Your news, your time, your way.
The Gazette's primary school has been closed temporarily because of a lingering odor that is reported to have sickened teachers. Officials of the Ministry of Education took the decision after the absence of most of the teaching staff had earlier forced the suspension of classes for the day. Gazette has been closed on and off for the past few weeks because of a previously unspecified environmental problem. Now the ministry says the problem has been traced to order from a fogging at the school about 3 weeks ago. The school will not be open on Wednesday, and the ministry hopes to resume classes shortly at a temporary location at a nearby church. On Monday, retrenched Transport Board workers had their latest say, and it wasn't pretty. A day later, it has been the turn of those who lost their jobs when the Beautify Barbados program was cancelled by the Ministry of the Environment. Some of them turned up at the ministry's Warren offices, complaining that they hadn't received their full benefits, including vacation pay. The workers failed to secure a meeting with the ministry officials and promised to return on Friday in greater numbers, armed with placards for a formal protest. Why doesn't Barbados have modern laws on sexual harassment, despite all the talk and promises going back many years? Blame it on a lack of national will, according to the acting director of the Bureau of Gender Affairs, Lida Gajada. She was speaking at a panel discussion on sexual harassment in the workplace. The forum heard that a law had been drafted 10 years ago, but had lagged because of a lengthy consultative process and legislative priority had been given to other areas. The president of the National Organization of Women and the Men's Educational Support Organization called for a sexual harassment law to be passed with urgency. Mention cooperatives, and many people think of credit unions. Well, there's a non-financial cooperative sector in Barbados, about a dozen active groups according to a government website. And government wants to help them grow. It has engaged a Canadian agency to create a development plan for cooperatives. Cooperatives are organizations owned and run jointly by their members who share the profits or benefits. 4 of those functioning in Barbados are in farming, 4 are in the taxi business, and 3 are in primary schools. A man from Carrington Village has been remanded to the psychiatric hospital after he told the District A Magistrates Court that he had removed 9 beers from a mini-mart because he had been insulted by the owner. As for Wasson Moore did not pay for the drinks, nor did police recover them. The 29-year-old said that his action was out of rage against the owner of GS Convenience Store in Carrington Village, with whom he said he had a long-standing feud. The prosecution had concerns about Mr. Moore's mental state, though the defendant and his mother didn't, and the magistrate sent him to Black Rock for an assessment to return in 3 weeks.
Today, Nation News wants to say thank you to our firemen and women as they celebrate Fire Service Week. As essential as nurses and sanitation authority workers, most Barbadians don't think about the fire service until they need it. For months, they could be operating under the radar until someone falls into a well or there is a horrific traffic accident. A lone fire breaks out in a densely populated area and suddenly they're back in the spotlight, or are working around the clock when the bush and cane fires rage across the country. But there are also hundreds of everyday cases where they save homes and people's lives and go unthanked. They do so in decaying buildings with reduced numbers and a shortage of equipment. So today, on behalf of a grateful nation, we say thank you to the Barbados Fire Service.
In sport, the Barbados Tridents have won their first match in their debut season in the Champions League in Bangalore. In their final group match in the city, they beat Northern Districts of New Zealand by 6 wickets in the 19th and final over of the rain-shortened game. Former New Zealand player James Franklin helped himself to a straight 6, then a pulled 4 off Tim Southey in the final over to take the Tridents home with 2 balls to spare at 138 for 4. Neither of the teams had a chance of making the semi-finals. In motorsport, Indianapolis 500 champion Ryan Hunter will drive in the Race of Champions in Barbados. The race takes place December 13th and 14th at Bushy Park. 9 times Le Mans 24 Hours winner Tom Christensen, Australia's V8 Supercars champion Jamie Whincup, and Formula One's Romain Grosjean, the reigning champion of champions, have already signed up. The Race of Champions brings together the world's greatest drivers from motorsport's major disciplines, including Formula One, World Rally, Le Mans, MotoGP, NASCAR, IndyCar, touring cars, and the X Games. And finally, police in Germany say a gambler about to be taken away to jail suddenly won enough money from a slot machine to pay off his fine. Police in the city of Bochum said the 37-year-old man was wanted by them because he had been ordered to pay an $1,800 fine or face 71 days in jail for resisting arrest. The man, who has only one arm, was recognized by 2 officers at the casino, and police said they approached him and were about to make the arrest when he started beaming all of a sudden. The man had won a jackpot of $1,268, allowing him to pay his fine on the spot and avoid jail time. And that's Nation News for the last day of September. For more, log on to nationnews.com as well as YouTube, Facebook and Twitter. And get your midweek Nation from newsstands or via the e-paper on Wednesday.